Welcome everyone to this platform. I am so glad that you have joined us today on this podcast. All right, so I'm going to kind of deal with several subjects today that will probably help you to become better. So if I was to use a topic today, I would say make your life better. Make your life better. You make your life better by the choices you make. It is not based on what people do around you or people who you are close to, such as your spouse, your family, the person that you're dating. They don't really make your life better. You make your life better based on the decisions that you make, decisions that you make when it comes to what do you envision for yourself? What do you envision for your future? What plans do you have? Regardless of whatever life threw at you and the consequences thereof, you have to make the decision that, okay, I had a big fall, but I picked myself up and I've decided to, pursue my dreams. I'm going to continue on that path. So you have to own your future, own your destiny, own where you want to go. Not people, not society. I'm telling you, if you wait on society, government, people, or someone to hook you up, you're going to be disappointed. Now, along the way, God will place people in your path to help you get to where he wants you to be. However, you have to take it on as if, if it's going to be, it's up to me. That's it. If it's going to be, it is up to me, meaning it's up to you. It's up to you to make that decision that you are going to succeed. So let's deal with several areas of our lives, where we need to make life better for ourselves. So recently I started posting, a lot of stuff every now and then as I'm inspired, and hopefully something will be said on today's podcast that will help you to make your life better. Okay. So one of the recent postings that I posted was, value yourself. In other words, put worth to who you are. So many times people allow other people to value who they are or to put a worth on their life. You have to understand that in everything you do, you carry a special anointing or you carry a special spirit or talent or gifts that could make a person, an environment, or a business better. When you don't know your worth, then people will abuse you, and then you will underserve yourself. Oh, that's good. You will underserve yourself because you won't treat yourself based on the level that you should be. It's like someone who goes to apply for a job. And in applying for that job, you will go and in the interview, you will say, well, okay, here's my resume. They'll ask you some questions and so forth. But what a lot of people don't realize is that sometimes the biggest mistake you will make is when you put your desired salary amount up front and expose it to the company that's trying to hire you. Here's the reason why. Now, of course, if they've posted the job, posted the amount that salary, that they're going to pay for that position, then that's different. But when a company is just hiring and they don't put the pay scale there, you have to be careful because everything is negotiable there. And sometimes you have to understand in your life, you have to learn how to negotiate. So many people don't know how to negotiate, so they have settled for far less than what they're worth. So instead of making their life better, they make it average, where they just settle for less. So when you're going into an interview, you want to make sure you let them ask you the question. Don't give away your cards. Let them ask you the questions. Then you need to ask them certain questions, questions such as, okay, is this a new position that was created? If not, okay, may I suggest what is the highest qualification that this position requires? Because let's say they require a bachelor's, but you have a master's. Room for negotiation. And then at some point in time in the conversation, you need to ask a question like, okay, so what are you paying for this position? What's your salary range? I like that phrase, what's your salary range? Because you're trying not to get them to just cap it, okay? And they'll tell you X amount of dollars. Then that's where your negotiation abilities need to kick in now. Because some companies, if they see that you a valuable asset to their company, they will pay you for what you're worth. So what I'm trying to say is don't undersell yourself, underserve yourself. Don't. You got to know your value. So when you go to the table of life, you can negotiate. So for example, when you're dealing with someone, let's say in a relationship, you have to know your worth. You have to say, okay, I'm going to come to the table with, okay, I've got my degree, I've got my profession going, I got a little bit of money in the bank, I'm working on my credit, or my credit is good, whichever way. I have assets, my car, I have the title to it, I've got my house, I've got other properties, or whatever it is. You see, now you're coming to the table bargaining, because what you're saying, okay, all right, I'm coming to the table with this. Okay, what are you coming to the table with? Now, there are times somebody will come to the table. One of the parties will come to the table with nothing, or pretty much nothing. Be very careful now. I don't want you to walk away thinking that you should only bargain to get, equal value to where you are. Because you have to understand this. Listen to this carefully. Just because somebody doesn't possess anything at this moment doesn't mean that they won't in the future. Don't sabotage yourself by raising the bar so high that there is a potential candidate, someone who it only takes 5 years from now, who will become a multimillionaire, somebody who will land a wonderful deal, somebody who will come into some great wealth, and because, up front, you wanted somebody who matched your value or greater, you've lost out on that. You have to leave room, watch this, for opportunity. You have to leave room for opportunity, meaning giving the other person a chance to prove that they have potential. Because I'm telling you, when a person has potential, that's a gold mine. Listen to me, singles. When a man or a woman has potential, that's a gold mine. Do not just sit there and settle for, they got to come with the house too. They got to come with the car. They got to come with that. You're just going to hurt yourself. Okay. And I think one of the podcasts, I said it before, that some women are unreasonable. Yes, unreasonable, because here it is. They've raised the bar so high that they're saying, okay, you know what? I want a man. He's got to come with a credit score of 750 and higher. Let's use that for an example. He's got to have at least a house or a condo or something, or at least established in his job, and all of these things ladies would list. And then I just start thinking, okay, if you want the man to come with all of that, if you want him to come with good credit, then why should he take you who've got credit issues? Okay? Why should a man take you who pretty much can hardly pay your rent, because you're not disciplined, All of your money go in putting on stuff on your body just to look good, but you're broke. You're just a pretty broke woman. Why should a man take the risk to come to you when you've raised your bar so high? So my point is, I think it's very important for both parties, male and female, to understand that there has to be room for compromise. There's got to be room for discernment. That guy has potential. That woman has potential. There has to be room for that. So I want you to understand, let me just go back to this, because I posted this recently, and I have to read it to you. And it says here, this is what I posted: when two broken people love and trust each other, they can build an empire and not worry about their critics. When two broken people love and trust each other, they can build an empire and not worry about their critics. When you can find somebody who, it's okay, I don't mind them being broken. They're broken. They've got issues. Maybe they've come up with a broken home, broken relationship. They've been hurt themselves, come out of a divorce. There's so many men out there coming out of a divorce broken. Of course they could have done things better, but they just have a crazy woman. That was just it. Then there's some women coming out of a broken relationship or marriage, and of course they could have done something better, but obviously some of those men are just absolutely crazy, right? So they're broken. But watch this: when two broken people who maybe had a history or a past or issues, or your past was horrible and so forth, when two people can come together and say, you know what, let's give love a try. Let's not base our love on our past experiences. Let's merge this authentic love that we have for each other. And let's trust each other, because, listen, the only way trust can be authentic, it is when love is authentic. Because love opens up. Love doesn't have a backup plan. Love doesn't have barriers. Love forces itself to trust the other person. And when you trust the other person, and two hearts come together, when you tap into that person's potential, they tap into your potential. Oh my goodness, you're building an empire. Do you know how many people's potential has not been tapped into because they have yet to connect to the right person? You see, here's the mistake a lot of people make, especially women. The mistake they make is their way of measuring whether or not a man is worthy to come into their lives is based on his physique, how he looks. And I guess looks are wonderful. Just like men, men want a woman that's attractive and all that kind of stuff. Women, you look for certain things, and because you're so concerned about society, the critics and so forth, you can make decisions where you before you even meet a man, you can frame the image of a man in your mind that when the right one comes along, if you're not careful, you miss an opportunity. Because there are many guys out there, though they are broken, if you can tap into their potential, oh my goodness. If you can just tap into their potential, you'll be shocked at what your life can be like. And of course, it goes the same way for men. If men could tap into women's potential, and sometimes some men are insecure, some men are not just broken, damaged. They were damaged, whether they were, brought up by their moms, no father figure. So a lot of mothers, because they didn't know any better, the son became their baby. The son also became the man they never had. Believe it or not. So no discipline, no real discipline, and also accountability, holding that boy accountable, develop him in such a way that he'll become a man. So now a lot of women have to deal, unfortunately, with men who are damaged. So that's one of the things that I mentioned. And then I also posted, be open to authentic love even when you are scared. You can make your life better when you keep praying to God. I think the thing that you should be praying for right now is, God, give me the spirit of discernment. Let me discern somehow the ability to pick up on things that are authentic. Because in a world that we're in now, it's a lot of craziness. It's a lot of phoniness. I mean, it's just crazy. You know, things can look authentic. People can come off as if they're genuine, and they're not. So you ought to be open when you identify authentic love, and you ought to not be scared, you know, to step into love and to give love a try, and to say to yourself, you know, let me tap into the other person's potential. Let me tap into the other person's ability. Let me tap into, perhaps even in business, let me tap into this other person's abilities and experiences, because you're trying to get to the top. They have already shown that they have gotten to the top. Don't be intimidated. Don't be jealous. Don't be closed-minded where you're saying to yourself, I don't want to hear nothing from them, and so forth. You know, sometimes your greatest setback is your inability to be open to tutoring, allowing somebody to tutor you, allowing somebody to guide you. And sometimes tutoring is not nice. Sometimes you get yelled at. You know, sometimes, you know, you're forced to think on your own. You know, a good tutor will not do the student work. We'll give the student a set of instructions and try to get that student to use their own abilities to resolve issues. So here's another thing I wrote. Love accepts. Love heals. Love forgives. Love is patient. Love is okay with rejection. I love that. Love accepts. See, when there's genuine, authentic love there, it learns to accept things that are pure, things that are also authentic in its own rights. You know, when authentic love sees authentic love, all of a sudden there's an energy that, you know, each other can feel and feed off. So love accepts. Love learns to accept that, you know what, you're not perfect. You're broken. You have a past, if you will. You know, your past issues. I understand it. I know your history or whatever. I'm going to accept you just the way you are. Okay? That's it. I'm going to accept whatever you bring to the table. Love accepts. Love heals. Now watch this. If you are with someone and their love is not healing you, something is wrong. So when you go on a date, if every time you're going to the date, it's an argument, it's hostility and so forth, then you have to examine, is this really authentic love? Is this something I should accept? Is this something that's healing me, right? You want to be in a marriage or dating someone that They're just healing you. Now, of course, you're going to have challenges and so forth. But what I'm talking about is when you leave their presence, you should be able to say, wow, man, I enjoy that person's company. A woman should come home to her man, and her man should be able to pick up on his woman, knowing when she had a stressful day, what are the right things to say to her? Not only that, how to touch her. If men could just study the special touch for a woman. And you see, what men need to understand, some women, it has to be sexual touch. If needs be, that's fine. But then the average woman, sometimes there's a special touch. There's the way you touch them, the way you talk to them, the eye contact that you make with them. For example, a woman had a very stressful day. She comes home and she's got kids to take care. She's got, homework to do, or probably you don't have kids or whatever it may be. She comes home. Yeah, you have a stressful day too, all that kind of a stuff. But you ought to know what turns your woman on, not sexually again. What turns your woman on? What makes her unwind? What makes her kind of just relax, right? So, words matter. So, your wife walks in, hey, babe, how was your day? And she's going to start, don't ever ask a woman, how's your day? She'll back it up from the time she left the house, and she will walk you through every minute of the day, right? One thing with women, they love a good listener. Do not ignore them. Acknowledge that you're listening. I don't care if they're just blabbing. Just acknowledge. So here's what you do. She starts saying a whole lot of stuff and so forth. Watch this. 2 ways to do it. You go behind that woman and you wrap your arms around her, either by her waist, her neck, and watch this. Listen to her. And sometimes just say the simple words. I got you, baby. Looked like it was a tough day, but you're home. You're home. You're safe. Is there anything I can do for you? Tell you what, babe, chill. Just chill for about half hour. Find stuff like that. Go in front of her sometime, eye contact, and rest your hands on her shoulders or, arms, and just simply say, it's going to be okay, babe. You're here now. And how can I serve you? Woo! Woo! How can I serve you? See, you change the tone. Love heals. Just by saying that brings emotional healing. When you see your woman is crying and getting hysterical, you don't yell at her. You don't scream at her. What's wrong with you? You crazy? No, you got to have to find words to massage her, to make her feel that you are there for her. Simple things like that. Love forgives. Listen, both parties, male and female, we have to learn that if you keep carrying unforgiveness and keep remembering the past and keep talking about it, it gives no room for healing. You have to get to the place where you have to just say, I forgive, and I'm going to do my best to forget. Love is patient. So just because you did that last year, you did that yesterday, love is patient. I'm going to be patient with you. You might not have done it right, but I'm going to be patient that your personality would change. I'm going to be patient that, you'll get it right. Singles, I'm going to be patient that you'll come up to my level. Love is patient, and then love is okay with rejection. Sometimes we get rejected. Sometimes, you may put a pass at a woman that you like. You'd love to date her, and she'll ignore you. She'll have no interest, and sometimes have no interest, honestly. Sometimes just give her space. Give her space. Because if it's your love, if it belongs to you, it'll come back to you. Right? It'll come back to you. Not only that, sometimes it won't come back to you. Sometimes your authentic love is rejected. It's quite okay. Sometimes people later on will find out that, wow, missed opportunity. Even in marriage, sometimes people walk away from a marriage that if they had worked at it and both parties humbled themselves, wow, things would have worked. Some people in dating prospects, if they just open up, but they got, they reject a person, or they got rejected. So love is okay with rejection. When somebody rejects you, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. Don't think it's the end of the world, that you're going to die, or, you're a bad person. No. Sometimes you just got to wait. You just got to wait, and like I said, real love will come back to you. So I wanted to go to, these are just some thoughts I've been posting, and I just feel that I need to really help you to better yourself. Work on you, man. Work on you. Stop trying to invite yourself into people's lives broken, not taking ownership of fixing you. If you fix you, then you won't tolerate certain things. You now are in a better position to demand what you're worth. But when you go in trying to fix other people, then it's a cycle. Because remember, it's a cycle. You're pointing the finger at everybody else. But remember, there's at least 3 fingers coming back at you. All right? Now, here's what I wrote. One day, those who thought you were crazy will eventually appreciate your crazy faith. People who are thinking you're crazy, to build on your character, to build on your personality, to build, on your talents and so forth, would think that, you're far-fetched, you are this, crazy, whatever. But one day they're going to appreciate your crazy faith. Then I wrote here, when you have a great plan, stick to it and let nothing stop you from pursuing it. So you improve on yourself. Know your niche. Find out what's your passion and stick to it. I mean, I had to learn the hard way, because there was a time in my life where I was trying to do too many things at one time, because you know what? It's like, you throw the mud, and if it stick, praise the Lord and so forth. And I had to get to a place where I had to define who I am. Who is Henry Fernandez? What's my gift? What's my niche? Who am I? What are my passions? And once I was able to zero in on those things, then my life was more structured. I don't chase after everything anymore. Ooh, that's a good one. I don't chase after everything anymore. I don't allow myself to do that anymore, because that's really dangerous. Because you will find 5 years will go by, 10 years will go by. You are trying to chase. And out of all those years, you accomplish nothing, or just a little, when if you just focused on what you are assigned to, man, you'll build an empire. Okay? Now, sometimes we hurt sometimes we hurt ourselves by blocking our blessings because we have a wavering spirit. Wavering spirit. Kind of back up, going back to what I just said. A wavering spirit is there, and we block our blessings because we're not consistent. So better yourself. Find out who you are. Find out what your gifts are and stick to that. I love what I do. I'm doing this podcast. I love, the ministry that I'm in charge of. I love other things that I'm involved in. one of the things that I'm very, very good at is investment. I'm good at investment. Beside what God has blessed me to earn from the church, I don't have my hands where I can take out what I want. No, it's governed by a board. So for me, I had to look for ways outside of ministry because I'm gifted. I'm gifted. So what can I do outside of ministry that I can, better myself and my family with, right? And I was able to zero in on that. I'm a playwright. I'm an author. I found my niche. And I'm not trying to be like anybody else. And of course, those other people have inspired me. They're people I could call names. They have truly inspired me. But I don't want to copy them. I don't want to be like them. I'm not in a competition with them. I'm not jealous over them. I applaud them. And if I'm blessed to be in their presence, oh, glory to God, I'm okay with that. I've been in some rooms and I've met some people that if I start calling their names, you'll be shocked. You met her? You met him? I've met them. And sometimes I have to pinch myself in the room. Am I really in this room? But sometimes I'm just glad to be in the room. And sometimes I don't say anything because what I want to do, I want to just learn. I want to observe because I know where I want to go. And I want to have my unique fingerprint on the earth. I want to know when I leave this planet, right? There's a group of people, not everybody, I'm not looking for fame because I believe your gift will make room for you. When you work your gift, God will let your name go abroad, right? But I'm just looking for what's mine and work it, and then the rest is going to be history, okay? If I could just read one last one, and then I'll let you go. Just work on yourself. Work on yourself. So as you are journeying through life, work on who you are. Improve yourself. Here's the last one. Pay attention because life is trying to teach you valuable lessons. Pay attention. In life, this very moment is a special moment for you. On this podcast, it is a special moment for you. Pay attention. There are valuable lessons. Every day, life is trying to teach you. Are you using those lessons to better yourself? Are you ignoring them? Focusing on things that doesn't really matter? Improve on yourself. Use every tool life presents to you, the good and the bad, and let it work together for your good. I've enjoyed my time with you. I just wanted to stimulate your mind and get your thinking going. I would love to hear from you. Just don't listen or watch this podcast and log off. I want you to just send a comment before you leave. Go put a comment right there as you're watching it, maybe on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Maybe it's through my website, henryfernandez.org. Go on my Facebook page and say, man, the podcast was for me. I enjoyed it. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.